Rob and Slim Show.
Hello, Robin Slim.
Ginni.
How you doing?
Great. How are you doing? Ginni Saraswati from the Ginni Show.
Thank you so much for having me. How exciting.
Thanks for coming. And your show is titled Curry Comedy and Connectivity Podcast.
Absolutely. It is. It sounds like a bit of a food show, but contradictory to that, it's not.
How long have you been doing it?
Only just over 6 months now.
Wow.
I only launched in late September. So been doing it for 6 months. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of laughs, and lots of craziness. And I think I'm about to be disowned from my family for the amount of jokes that I use them for. So it's all good. It's all good in Saraswati town.
Oh, and I see, I wanted to ask you, too, I see you have one called Monday Mocha. Is that different than the Ginni Show?
It is slightly different. It still comes under the umbrella of the Ginni Show, just to add a bit of confusion out there. But it's just an excuse for me to drink more coffee and to chat to people. Sometimes I think when you say to people, hey, come on my radio show, they're kind of obligated to sit there and talk to you. So instead of me talking at people, I can talk to people in this podcast. So that was just an excuse to do that. So Monday Mocha is out every Monday. So I chat to someone from around the world, and hopefully I get to chat to you two about it too, over a coffee or a beer or your beverage of choice.
That'd be awesome. Do you do it right, like, as soon as you wake up?
Well, so it depends on your time zone, really, because I might be waking up, but you guys might be going to bed, so it might not be appropriate to ask you to drink a mocha. So you guys might want to have a wine or a beer, but we'll have it. Like I said, we'll have your beverage of choice.
And you're in Melbourne, correct?
Melbourne, Australia. That's right.
Nice. And you're originally from Sri Lanka, correct?
Yeah, I was born in Sri Lanka, in Colombo, in a little town called Dehiwala, which I have only gone back once since I came to Australia. I hope to visit there soon. And I migrated to Australia with my family when I was 2 years old. There was a civil war happening in Sri Lanka, and wow. I think my family wanted a better life for me and my sister. Obviously, being girls, sometimes there is a hierarchy there that was existent at the time. I'm not sure how it is now. I think my mother was very much like, we want to give our girls the best possible chance at life and education, which was wonderful when I told her I wanted to be an artist.
I'm going to say, I listened to a couple episodes of your show, and I know you said your family wanted you to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something.
I think with Sri Lankan families, and I don't think it's pertaining to Sri Lankan families only, I think families who migrate to a Western country from the East, I think there is kind of this predicated belief that your immigrant child should apply him or herself to a job that is of high stature or high earning, and that is the expectation, because why else would you come here? Why would you go to Australia and be a podcaster, Ginni? Why? But, that's kind of where it started for me, and luckily for my mum, she got used to it down the track. So I think that was the icebreaker for her. She's like, oh, this child, you just know what she's like, so that's just the one thing. My sister kind of stuffed it up for me, because she was a good girl. She did the science degree. She married the Sri Lankan man. She has a daughter. She has a house. She works for the bank. So, she really screwed things up for me. So when I came out as like a podcaster, my mum's like, what did I do wrong? Here's my child who's like following in my footsteps. She's going into finance, and this one wants to be on radio and on a gay station. So it's funny.
I was going to say that I saw that. I see you do a lot of LGBT rights advocation, and you are on a station out there, correct?
I actually was on a station called Joy. I had a morning show on Joy probably about a year ago. So Joy is Australia's only LGBT radio station. So they operate 24/7 on the clock. And I believe, to memory, it's now only one of 3 full-time gay radio stations in the world. So It was fun doing a morning show, and it's fun sometimes when your relatives tune in, and it's kind of it's good for me, because when you have a big family, breaking news can be hard, because you have to go around to everyone's. Now I can just go on TV or go on radio, and if I need to pass the message, I'll deliver it to you in the comfort of your home. I think that's the beauty of broadcasting. You kind of save a lot of travel time.
I have a question because I'm really curious. What's the difference between regular radio and gay radio?
No difference at all, but I think gay radio just plays a little bit more Britney or Madonna or Kylie. So when
Little Boy George.
Or Boy George. Sometimes every time I play ABBA or something, I go, just in case you're wondering what station you're listening to, it's George.
Nice. Now, I saw too, Ginni, that you've worked in TV and radio. You've worked in television, right?
I have worked in television. The producer from the TV show here called Bet TV reached out to me when I was doing a radio show here called Host Society, which we actually came over to the States for LA Talk Radio. We did a few months on air there as well. Cool. So when he kind of heard me on the airwaves, he reached out to me and said, hey, would love to see what you do on radio or on TV. And I was kind of like, you do know that there is a difference between faces for radio and faces for TV. And he's like, yeah, I'm aware of that. So it kind of, and I was just watching you guys before I came on your show. For me, what I love about radio is I can roll in my pajamas on morning radio and no one knows. Now in TV, you actually have to pick out your outfit, do your hair. I can't get away with it.
I've gotten shit for wearing the same shirt too many times. Like, people are like, what's up with the shirt, buddy? Like, get a new shirt.
You got a really cool cap on. You got a really cool cap on. I'm a big Yankees fan too, so I love that. But see, I can't get away with that. You can pull it off. I'd be like, Ginni, seriously, put some effort into your hair. My mother would be mortified if I wore Yankee caps all the time. Another thing for her to be mortified about.
What was the show you did, Rise Up? Because I watched a couple clips from that.
Rise Up, we were a morning show that pretty much we interviewed anyone from your bachelorette contestants or your bachelor contestants who got not given a rose to. I'm trying to word it really softly there. People like Paula Abdul. So we got to chat to some pretty amazing people. I have to say.
Saw that.
I think the beauty of morning radio, you have that privilege of that primetime access to people who want to kind of get on there and talk about their stuff. So that was a lot of fun. We got to meet lots of people and experience lots of craziness and host different things. So that was very exciting.
That's cool. Who was there? I saw, like I said, I've seen you talk to Paula Abdul, Katie Lang. Who has been your favorite interview?
Ooh, there's a few. I love Paula Abdul because she's so little, and I think when you see her on TV, and I grew up in the '90s, and my sister used to play Opposites Attract on our little cassette recorder, and I remember hearing her and growing up. She was one of the highlights as well because meeting her in person, she's just such a sweetheart, and you talk to her and she was giggling and very humble and down to earth. I think sometimes in your head you have this build up of who a person is supposed to be, and then when you meet them, it's kind of gratifying the fact that they actually are human and they actually do have fears and they laugh at things just like you do and they giggle just like you do. So that was really humbling in a way. But I think for me, she would be up there. I loved interviewing Sharon Gless, who for me was a big influence. Yeah, there you go, Cagney and Lacey. For me, she was in Queer Folk. She kind of reminded me of my mother if she were to be white and kind of brought up in a culture where being gay was accepted. Like, she kind of was that overprotective mother of Michael and that kind of thing. So watching that on Queer Folk, her play that character, and she's just, I remember, I don't know if you guys have watched that show, but I love the T-shirts she wore. Like, yeah, it's great T-shirts she wore. Like, if I have a face, I have a place to sit. I want that T-shirt. It just sounds like she just sounds like she had an awesome collection of shirts at that time too. So she was great. So those two would be my top two.
That's cool.
And I forgot she was on that show. That was fabulous.
It was a fabulous show, yeah.
I was going to ask, have you ever interviewed Tony Abbott? Because I tried getting that guy and he never responded to me.
Maybe just send him a wink on Twitter. Like, yo, what's up, Rob? How you doing? Then, you might even wear his Sunday best budgie fugglers for you just to the interview as well. So,
how you doing?
Send him a wink. Yeah, send him a wink or send him something. I'm sure he'll... Did you seriously reach out to him?
I did, yes, because my buddy, he has a podcast out there. His name is Gareth Thomas, he has a show called Random Ramblings with Gareth that he does with his wife Bex, and he turned me on to Tony Abbott, and I did. I actually emailed him with a professional email, and he never got back to me.
I think you're maybe was the email very vanilla? When you mean professional, was it vanilla or was it, Robin Slim style?
No, I do have a nice professional email that goes out. 25-minute phone interview request.
I think maybe that was too not vanilla for him.
Maybe that was too long.
Oh, too much.
Yeah, that was his attention span was not that long. I should have did 5 minutes.
Oh dear. I'm actually, part of me is slightly humid, and a part of me is slightly mortified that you know who Tony Abbott is, because I think
we did a half hour on Tony Abbott.
Like 30 minutes just talking about Tony Abbott.
It's just a little bit it's alarming to me, because I kind of see, compared to other politics around the world, Australian politics is quite vanilla and boring. So if someone says something like, "Oh, the sky is grey, not blue," it's outrageous here. But compared to other countries, that's kind of our sense of outrageousness. But the fact that you know who Tony Abbott is says a lot.
he tickled us to the soul, to the core. He was a silly man. He's like the orange guy we have now. He's pretty much the same.
Oh wow.
I was gonna ask you too, Ginni. I heard you reference Vegemite. What is Vegemite?
Oh, Vegemite is heaven. It's magic on toast. It's kind of like I try and bestow this magic onto my American friends, and they think I'm trying to kill them, which I'm not. Yeah. So Vegemite is obviously an Australian icon. It's a spread that you put over your toast, and sometimes you add cheese to it. There's also an icon called Cheesy Mite, which is Vegemite and cheese in a spread. I used to give it to me every day for school, and the ad of Vegemite says it gives you vitamin B and rosy cheeks. Now, it does give you vitamin B. I can confirm that. Rosy cheeks, not so much, but it is a delicious thing to have on hot toast. But I perhaps should take you boys through that initiation when I come over to America.
Absolutely.
I'll bring you guys some Vegemite. I'll bring you some Tim Tams too, so if you want to throw the Vegemite jar at me, at least I can be like, have some Tim Tams.
I was going to ask what Tim Tams are. Is that like a mint?
Tim Tams are actually, we call it biscuits here, but Americans call it cookies. So they're like a chocolate cookie. That in Australia there's a thing called the Tim Tam Slam. So you bite each end of the cookie, you dip it into your tea or your coffee, and you drink your coffee or tea through the Tim Tam, and it's just heaven, because the biscuit just melts in your mouth.
I do that with a Twizzler. I bite off both ends and then I drink a 7-Up through it. That's pretty awesome.
We found Tim Tams at our Target.
Wow.
Last
Did
month.
you?
Yes.
They
My
sell them?
daughter was over the moon. Yeah.
What flavor?
They were chocolate.
Chocolate? Oh, just the plain. There's a few flavors that have come out, like red velvet, chocolate.
No, it was just one basic chocolate, but she was so excited. She was out shopping with a friend, came home, she was like, "Look what we have."
Wow. I heard they're like $7 a box there. Is that true?
Yeah,
It's
they weren't cheap. Even though it was Target.
Oh my god! I mean, that's the one request my American friends have when I go over there. They're like, "Can you bring me Tim Tams?" So half my suitcase is literally Tim Tams and my socks.
And like one jar of Vegemite.
No one asked for Vegemite yet. No.
What is it made? What is Vegemite made of?
I believe it's made of yeast, and someone said it's got seaweed in it, which I don't believe, because I think they're trying to put me off having it. I actually, to be honest with you guys, I haven't actually looked at the ingredients. I'm like, this is good. I want rosy cheeks.
Do you know, Pete?
Somebody told me that, all right, like when they brew beer, like the after, there's kind of like, because I've actually brewed beer before, there's an after, what we call it the afterbirth.
The afterbirth? Yeah. I was going to say that to be a creep.
It's where, it's where all the yeast and the
runoff.
All the yeast and the byproduct from the beer making process goes to the bottom. Somebody told me that they actually make it out of that. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that at all, but that's what I've
disgusting.
heard. That's what I've heard.
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me, because I think Australians, anything to have anything with a beer. Look, we'll have a beer for breakfast. This is probably their way of incorporating beer for breakfast.
Ginny, do you have any professional training in radio or acting?
In acting, professional is in inverted commas. I did actually, when I went to university, I studied performing arts, and after that I did theatre. In terms of actual TV, no, I did a few extra roles, a few background work on a couple of the shows here, but professional training I have had in radio. I did a training course at Joy while I was in university or college, as you guys call it.
Yeah.
So I did do some training there where, I got to go on commercial radio as well and did some announcing as well. But I kind of, after doing it for so long, as much as I loved it and I loved the pace and the meeting people, and, you build your networks on radio because you get to meet all these fabulous people. You get to really chime in on how to execute a product according to a particular plan. But I think for me, it was time to kind of go off and do my own thing and have an excuse to make fun of my family and it'd be okay.
I just get, you drink too much from my mom. She's like, I've seen the pictures. That's a lot of empties on the table. And when are you moving out? I get that a lot too. When are you? Ginny, I saw too you love Disney movies. What is your favorite?
Oh my God, Robin. Oh, guys, I love Disney movies. I grew up on Disney. My first VHS was The Lion King, my first videotape. So The Lion King is my all-time favorite Disney movie. I've seen the Broadway musical about 5 times now. I love it. My bestie, who I mention a lot in the podcast, Chingaling, we used to get called Timon and Pumbaa in high school. She was Pumbaa, by the way. She had more gas than I did. But I love Disney movies because, especially The Lion King and a couple of others. I love. I think you're never too old for a Disney movie. I think sometimes I watch movies now and the ones that they're re-releasing with the real life actors now, it still makes you feel like your inner child is quite alive. So I love Disney movies. What's your favorite?
I'd say Aladdin. For myself.
Yeah.
Is that because you guys have a thing for Princess Jasmine?
I don't know. I kind of liked Robin Williams.
Yeah,
I love that character. And who was the bird?
I always thought Jafar was a badass, the sorcerer in it.
Who was the bird?
Oh, that's Iago the parrot.
The actor, though.
Rowan Martin? Or Rowan
No.
Atkins?
Gilbert
Godfrey.
Gottfried.
Oh, Gilbert
I love
Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Rowan Atkins was the bird in Lion King.
I've
That's
never
right.
seen Lion King. That was when I was too old and too cool for Disney.
Dude, I went to see Lion King in the theater by myself.
Wow, and I did.
And I'm older than you.
I remember seeing it.
I really enjoyed Beauty and the Beast too, the original
Beauty and the
animated
Beast, yeah.
from the '90s.
That's
was
why.
good.
That's why I can't pick one because it's between like Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, and Lion King.
And I like
those three.
Yeah, Lion King, Aladdin, and
I kind of like the Little Mermaid.
I love the Little Mermaid. I'm not gonna be straight here. I love the Little Mermaid.
I love the chef scene was the best
really
part.
like the Little Mermaid.
He's going after the fucking crab.
So you're just like a stabbing.
The chef, he's like trying to kill the crab.
Little Mermaid is cool. I love and I love that. And it took me forever to play. It was Kingdom Hearts because I was like, that's Disney. I'm in my 20s. But then everybody's like, it's cool, and I played Kingdom Hearts, and it's a great game. Great game. It's like Disney infused with Square Enix. Like, it's cool. It's really cool.
Wow.
That reminds me of Hercules too. I
did see that.
Yeah.
That one was all right.
I'm a big fan of Greek mythology, so Hercules was
The wrestling, the oiled up wrestling, right?
Oh,
that's what it's really about.
Nothing like Greco-Roman.
The original Olympics.
naked javelin throwing.
You can really see how much effort they put in their genitals. That's all I know. And I saw too, Ginny, you loved the Spice Girls when you were younger. Have you bought any of Victoria Beckham's new clothing line, which I feel is horrible?
I perhaps look. First and foremost, I would love to buy her line. Unfortunately, I can't fit into them because they're like size -4. So I think my left finger can fit into her dress. That's about it.
I saw a lot of bees. There's a lot of bees on it. I'm like, what are the bees about?
Bees.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
In case you don't remember what letter her surname starts with, I think she wants to make that known. But I think the Spice Girls, I bought their, what was it? Spice World was the first, one of the first videos I owned, so I remember that. But I love the Spice Girls because they were so Scary Spice reminded me of my hair when I got up in the morning, and used to, like, one of the things Sri Lankan mothers pride in their daughters is their hair. Unfortunately, mine wasn't as let's just say well tamed as others was. So I'm like, I love Mel B. She's my homegirl with that kind of thing going on. But no, post their music careers, I haven't really followed any of them. But I love their songs.
Nice. Slim does. He still has.
I do. Yeah.
He still has the whole collection, just everywhere. the video game, the
Action figures.
yeah.
Oh, I actually do remember the PlayStation 1 Spice Girls video game. I owned it. And all I remember from it is trying to figure out the code where you could see them naked, but you didn't really get to see them naked. They just had, like, towels in front of them or something. Barrels. I don't know.
Barrels.
They were in barrels.
Yeah, I have to see if I can get the
With
picture.
suspenders over their shoulders, holding the barrel up.
I feel like Pete should wear that. A barrel with suspenders.
Nah.
Why, bro? You'll be covered up.
Be like Bigfoot sighting.
Oh my God, Ginni,
Wow.
you're awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us. Where can everybody find you?
You can find me at theginnishow.com. All the links to the podcast and how you can listen to it are on there, and my blog is up there where I write some crazy shit as well. I can say shit on here, can I?
Absolutely.
No. And unfortunately, you won't find Tony Abbott there, which is done on purpose. But you can find everything else on there. So you can follow me on Twitter and everywhere else at The Ginni Show. And thank you guys so much for reaching out. I think one of you messaged me and was like, I think our show is a little bit too crass for you.
That was
I'm like,
me.
I hope I'm not painting myself out to be like a nun on The Ginni Show. I'm like, this is cool. I love dropping the F-bomb sometimes. And
Cool.
all these sorts of things. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much, Ginni. Have a good one.